Okay, this setup was derived from an FBX file loaded into Blender and then saved for the purposes of this tutorial. From what I understand, this setup came from the Rokoko motion capture system, and I believe we have a map for that. This here I'm using Bento Animate, which is a subset of Bento Buddy for the purposes of this instructional, and I'm just going to test the module designed for this. Now, Bento Buddy's conversions are based on a modular system where the maps associated with the set, which is really the skeleton, or the vertex weights, is used to perform various tasks on the model. In this particular situation, I'm going to transfer the animation over to a compatible rig for Second Life. Visual Snap Mapper. And it's rather slow, and I know that's because all these bones are selected. Blender is goofy. Now it works better. I'm going to just see if it's mapped right, so I will load the appropriate map, and it's kind of old. It may not, I don't know if all rigs coming from Rokoko are the same. I worry that they're not. Now, I didn't receive any errors, so at least some of the bones matched. And I'm going to see how many of them match. I will show all bones, and it looks to me like we've got a lot of positive going on here. I don't see a shin bone in particular. Is that normal? I wonder. I mean, something has to move the shin, right? What does move the shin? Is there a tiny bone somewhere that I can't see? Well, let's see. There's something in there. I don't see a shin bone. It must be pointing up. It must be it. The shin bone is pointing up. That's the reason. Okay. Alright. So, you don't need to use this because it looks like everything's mapped except possibly the head. No, the neck is mapped. That would probably just be the skull bone, and we don't want to go for that. Looks like the head might be moving, so let's see what that is. That's the arm to. It looks like it might be the head here. Yeah, we're gonna just give it a shot. But there is one issue here. I'm gonna reset the mapper. Reset the stage. We don't need that anymore. That was just for testing. The hands, you'll notice, are just flat. In Second Life, the pose for the fingers is strange. They're spread. I guess that's more natural, actually. I want to put this rig in front. The bones coming from the Rokoko imported, it seems, in reverse. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense. Why are they in reverse? And then we have supporting bones. They still work because of the way that they're parented, right? They're flipped over though. I've never seen anything like this. They work, I guess. I don't know what that's for. That would normally be on the outside, I guess. Alright, well. Let's see if this works. I don't even know at this point. It's kind of goofy. But anyway, what I'm saying is the fingers generally have to be spread out. We're going to do that actually. I just want to make sure it's going to, we can mirror these positions. I don't know that we can. Oh, it works. Okay, cool. Alright, so it doesn't work. It does not work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do them separately. Well, that's a pain. Alright. Well, I don't understand that. I really don't get it. There's not a lot of work to do here, but later on there's going to be orientation issues that you'll need to test. But this is generally how you start. There's only really a few fingers that have to be conditioned here. And your animation and the orientation of the bones is going to be an issue that you'll have to resolve. Now I'm going to save this pose in the pose library because I don't want to lose it. So just add the pose here, and I'm going to rename it hands, just for gets and jiggles. And I'm going to save this library as I don't know, just save it as a test, I guess. BPL, right? Yeah. So you'll use that later in case you lose your hand pose, which will happen instantly once you start playing that animation. But we need to freeze this. We need to freeze that as the first frame. And the way we do that is go into reference pose features, reference from pose, because we want to keep that pose, and we want to create it. There's a lot of data there, so it's going to take a moment. Alright, so now this becomes the first frame. So we've locked that in. So we have it in two places now. We have it as the first frame, and we have it in the pose library. So we can play this, right? And it plays, and we can go right back to the finger spread pose. Alright, so that's conditioned. Now we want to retarget this. It's animated. We want to retarget it. So character tools, retarget motion. We already have a map on it. Director contains a map. The animated object is the director, and the actor is the one posing. And we want to put some distance on it just for visual effect, and say action. And so this distance here from the origin is this here. And now it should, they should both, they should both animate together. And the animation will be saved from this. The hands don't look bad. Alright, so this will stay, this will be selected. You don't want to change your selection because the animation comes from the selected rig, which is that. Some of these details are already filled in for you once you hit your retarget, and we can see that the end frame is 3000. Wow, that's huge. And the time is 1666. Now this is too long. Alright, Second Life isn't going to let you do that. We can split this up, but it just becomes a more complicated video. That's just not. Oh, there's more stuff here. Maybe, is it supposed to transition into different goofy stuff? And he's going from gunfight to dancing. What the heck's going on? Anyway, we can split this up using an automated tool, but I really didn't want to get into that. So I'm simply going to reduce the amount of frames that are going to export until this reaches about 60 seconds. So sorry, 1800. Yep, 1650. Not good. 1500. Come on. Oh boy. Alright, so we're under 60 seconds. And that's 1400 frames. So I'm going to see what 1400 frames gives me. As far as animation goes. It's kind of slow. I'm thinking this needs to be increased to 30 or 60. Try 60, but you won't get a full speed in Blender, so it's not very representative. So with 60 seconds we can actually push more frames here. Looks like we can actually, let's acquire from here and see what the original was. So 399. Now we do still need to reduce it, so 3,500 frames will give us just under. That's fine. Anyway, this was supposed to be a quick tutorial. I'm going to reselect this rig because that's where the animation comes from, the retargeted rig. And I'm going to export this for anim export features. We always want to use anim. BBH is not accurate. Priority, I will give it a 3. We're going to loop this animation just so that we can see what it's doing over time. The loop starts from frame 2 because we don't want it to start where the fingers are in your T-pose. So let's make sure that frame 2 is exactly where we want this animation to start from. So no, actually we want it to start from frame. I guess we can start from. Do we want to start from frame 2? We'll start from frame 1, I guess. We'll start from frame 1 and we'll loop. Oh, loop start. Wait a minute. No, that's right. Loop start, loop end. So let's go here. I think this is probably where the loop starts. I think this is where the loop starts. So we'll loop from frame 5 to whatever end there is. And then just export that. See how long that takes. It's quite a few frames. But it's highly accurate, so you really do want to wait for this. In the meantime, I'm going to go over to Second Life and prepare. Okay, so that was, I don't have hands on. Actually, I don't have a body on, so you're not going to see the hands moving. Okay, so this exported. Let's see if there were any errors. Window, Explore. Data was, file data is too big, so we can only export 250K. And this is over a meg. So you're definitely going to have to split up your animation if you want that whole thing. I'm just going to go with 1000 frames and try that. Export. it's not over there. So, there's a lot happening on the timeline that's probably unnecessary. So the animation could use some cleanup before you go through all this, but you can always split it up. There's this script. When you export a split animation, it exports a script that recombines your animation in Second Life. And if we know that 60 seconds is too long, so we would say 10 seconds. If that actually didn't cause an error, let's go check the window. Now, a pop-up arose here telling you that there was an error, but my mouse is moving around, so it's missed the pop-up. Now I can see here that it's still too large, 382, and we can only utilize 250K, so we're still too long. So let's go 600 frames and do it again. I'm going to pop up this window here so we can see it as I'm exporting. So I don't want to split the animation yet. You really want to figure out if actually if you try to split the animation and the first export causes an error, it will stop it so it doesn't waste your time. So there's a lot of motion going on in this that's unnecessary. So that worked. There's no error on that. So we could theoretically split that up into a number of parts, and I think I'll set that on its task. I'll set that on its task now, and I'll go to 3,999 like it was at, and allow it to split it up 10 seconds per. It should, let's see, time overlap 0, time delayed 0, debug, kill. These default settings should be enough. So I will save the avatar script, alright, because it's going to be an avatar. We can do an animation too. Actually, I'll do both of them. I'm going to bulk here. Bulk, and I'll just call this avatar. And then I'll save the Animesh script as well. Put this under bulk. Call it Animesh, just in case I want to do this afterwards. If I don't get frustrated, I'll go ahead and do that too. But then we actually have to have the animations. You can see here how it split up the animation timelines and what the animation names are going to be. So we're going to leave it like that, and we're going to set it onto task. Go under bulk, and don't change this. So we're going to have two different versions. We're going to have a split up animation. We're going to have the single. That's like 9 seconds or something. And export that. Now that's going to take a little while. Let it do its thing. And I will go into Second Life while that's doing its thing. You can see it's processing each segment. And I'm going to import the I'm going to upload the animation, the single animation first. And just play that on the avatar. Yeah, that didn't work. Wonder why that is. Because of the priority. Then I forgot to enable loop, I guess. So that's working. Let's go see what's going on with our export. I think I forgot to enable loop on that. So our export finished. So it'll be 10 seconds, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segments. Alright. And if there was an error, it would have stopped before this. So now let's see what we did with the other thing. I did a loop animation. Oh, I know why. Let's see. I wanted to export, I think, 600 frames, and it was incompatible. My loop was incompatible with the end frame. That's why. So I'm going to make my end loop the same as the end frame. You don't have to. You can make this 500 or something, but you cannot make it 601 because it will be an error, and Second Life isn't going to check for the error. And while this is a great thing, actually, for the anim format, because it lets us do so much, it's not very friendly. So just make sure it's logically going to work for you. And I will export this again, just as an example that it's working. The loop didn't work before, and that's why. And you get a report here if you bring up this window. It's a good idea to keep one of these up. There it is. So it's under 250. You can see how big it is here. I'm going to load this again. And see what happens there. Okay, so this should loop. And I think it's giving us, what, like 10 seconds. So there'll be a little glitch here where it pops back to the frame 5, I think it is. Yeah, see it? So now you know it looped. Now I'm going to upload the rest of these, the bulk ones. And go into bulk and just select all of these. Come on, what's wrong with this? How come I can't select all these? Because I didn't do bulk. I want to do bulk, and I want to go into bulk and select just the animations. So I select all those, and I'm going to upload every single one of those. And it was 7, right? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it was 7. Okay, good. Now we have our animations. I want to toss them into a box because the box is going to be my controller. I hate this fly cam thing. I can't disable it permanently. I have to do it per login. I don't understand why. And we also want to import or upload the text, which is the Second Life script. And the way I do that is kind of funky, but it allows me to have a good workflow. So I will do a bulk because I can choose any file I want. And I know that I named these Avatar and Animesh. Okay, so I'll start with the Animesh. And I'll do an open on that. And it pops up a notepad here. And I just select everything here. Select all and copy. Okay, and I can close that. I'm not actually uploading anything. And in here I'm going to create a script. New script. And I'll call this, was it Animesh? I think it was Animesh, the first one. And I will select all here too. And paste and save it. Now once it saves, for free, one would hope. I'm going to show you what's at top here. So yeah, that's the Animesh script. And this is dynamically generated from the parameters that we used in our animation export. And I'm going to do the same thing, bulk, because it allows us to choose any kind of file. Avatar animation, I'm going to right click and open, and I'm going to select all of these and copy. And see, I don't actually need this window. I'm not uploading anything. I'm just using it as a tool to locate my work. New script, and call this animation, or avatar rather. Alright, and again select all and Control V, paste and save. Oops, we don't want an E in there. Alright, now since this is an avatar animation, I'm going to put the avatar script right in there. And I'm going to take a copy of it, and I'm going to add it to my avatar. And I'm going to bring up my window here, and you're going to see that it starts running right away. Texture, turn this off, makes it invisible. Okay, so it's kind of like a simple HUD. So the animation starts running. It should run the entire length, go from each one. Now if I enable debug, you'll see these when they play. There's a little glitch there, so you'll have to do some overwrite. But let it play once through first, because Second Life hasn't loaded them all yet. You see how it's trying to go back. It might only happen once. You'll need a preloader to prevent that from happening. Once it goes through the first time, it shouldn't happen again. But I am going to alter the script so that it's in debug mode, so we can see what's going on. See, true. And I'll save it. And I will do the same thing for the Animesh script as well, for when I do my testing. Save it. If I actually do any testing here. I'm going to detach this, re-res it. Oh, I can't even see it. Edit. There it is. I'm just going to make it smaller so I don't have to make it invisible. Stretch. Choose a different color, so I'll be able to see it better. And replace the script. Delete with the other one. I'll take that and add that. Now you should be able to see some, it'll show you what's playing and when it changes animation here. It's on animation 1. And when it swapped animations, you can see that it had that little glitch. So you probably need some overwrite. So we can do that with our splitter here. Go to the splitter. We don't have to re-export. We can just set some things. Time overlap will be 1 second, and I can re-export the avatar script. I think that should do it. That's one way to fix it. I really think it's a preload problem though. Avatar. I'm going to delete this in the window so I don't get duplicates. I don't want to get confused. I'm going to call this avatar. And remember how I did that here. Bulk. Avatar. Animesh. Is that new? I really should delete these and start over. So if I generate the script, I want to call it avatar. Save it. Book. It didn't show up. I must need a, I guess I didn't do any serious checking on that. So I'm just gonna make sure I give it an extension, even though I realize I found a bug. Because it changes the extension. I don't know what I was thinking. Bulk. Refresh. Cancel. And it's still not giving me what I want. Save avatar script. It's under bulk, right? So bulk animations. When you have split enabled and you export your split not required, see console. Oh, it's been giving me that error all along. Because I'm a dummy. Alright, 3999 is the end frame, and there's not going to be any loop. Is there? Yeah, there's a script loop. The loop is done in script, so it's been giving me an error. It's not a bug. It's the user. This is for the avatar. Bulk. And open. I want to enable debug, but I'm just going to show you that you can do it in the window. Okay. So you can enable debug here. And what kill does is it will kill the previous animation before it starts the new one. We don't want that. We want it to actually overlap so it doesn't have that glitch. So don't use kill. Channel number, because we can actually initiate the animation sequence using a command, and the channel is 5. You can change that. You can do all these things directly in the program itself. Script. Export the script again. Bulk. I'm going to delete that. I don't know, it adds an LSL to it. I should have done a better job there. This is turning out to be a long ass video. Open. Okay, so now debug is true, you can see. Select all. Copy. Now we can cancel that. I'm just going to reuse the old avatar one. Select all. Paste. Save it. And turn that off. Edit. And we're going to see if this worked. See if this has a better effect. Take it. Delete the old one. And add. Now let's watch and see what happens. See if there's a glitch. When it pops into animation 2, it shouldn't have that glitch. It just continues playing. So that's how we do it. Also, I don't have a subject here for Animesh, so I can't show you the Animesh one, but the process is very similar. Except you have more options for Animesh, and you won't get that glitchy thing. The glitchy thing happens because Second Life is trying to take over the animations, so you won't need the kill switch and all that junk usually. Alright, that's it.